Assalamualaikum dan selamat datang ke podcast kami di mana kami mengkaji tentang pandangan daripada generasi berbeza tentang reformasi Undi 18 dan kesannya di Malaysia. Saya Nur Ayah Khalida sebagai hos untuk sesi pertama ini dan bersama saya Nur Ayah Fahana sebagai pengundi pertama yang berpengalaman tentang reformasi ini. Okay, selamat datang Alia dan terima kasih sudi dapat meluangkan masa bersama saya. Okay, mari kita mulakan dengan pengalaman peribadi anda. Adakah anda mengundi buat kali pertama pada umur 18 tahun? Bolehkah anda menceritakan tentang pengalaman sebagai pengundi buat kali pertama?
Okay, pertama sekali terima kasih kerana menjemput saya ke podcast ini. Dan ya, saya merupakan pengundi pertama undi 18 dan saya sedikit boleh menceritakan pengalaman saya semasa mengundi. Basically sebelum mengundi, saya ada membuat beberapa research tentang parti dan calon-calon yang dipertandingkan, especially dekat tempat saya lah. So sebelum tu juga saya juga ada berkongsi lah, macam bertanya sedikit pendapat daripada ahli keluarga saya sebab rasanya mereka lebih berpengalaman. Minggu-minggu sebelum start sebelum mulanya mengundi tu adalah lalu beberapa feed dekat TikTok, IG dan sebagainya tentang undi 18 ni, dan daripada situ saya dapat sedikit pandangan tentang macam mana nak mengundi dan sebagainya. Masa hari kejadian saya agak terkejut sebab sebenarnya sebab mereka susun ikut generation by generation dan saya agak terkejut masa saya beratur tu agak panjang, dan saya rasa ini merupakan mereka sebenarnya aware tentang undi 18 ni.
Sangat interesting untuk dengar. Okey, sekarang mari kita teruskan kepada soalan seterusnya. Okey, apakah perasaan anda tentang reformasi undi 18 di Malaysia? Okey, dan apakah pendapat anda tentang keputusan kerajaan untuk melaksanakan pilihan raya akan datang?
Okey, perasaan saya tentang undi 18 ni sebenarnya saya rasa perasaan yang agak campur baur sebenarnya. Sebab pada awalnya rasanya undi 18 ni bukanlah terus bila seorang ahli parlimen minta untuk buat undi 18 ni bukannya senang untuk dapat majoriti 2/3 majoriti dalam parlimen, dan dia prosesnya agak berproses untuk sehingga dapat barulah tahun 2020 barunya undi 18 tu dilaksanakan. Sebab saya juga ada fikir sebab masa 2020 merupakan tahun SPM kan, dan rasanya perasaan tu bercampur baur sebab rasanya bukannya semua orang ada berfikiran dan tak semuanya aware tentang hal-hal politik dan sebagainya. Bila fikirkan balik, mula-mula tu rasa macam boleh ke kalau undi 18 dilaksanakan, betul ke keputusan kerajaan dan sebagainya. Tapi bila undi 18 tu dah dilaksanakan dan bila kita tengok proses ni, kita dapat buktikan yang undi 18 ni lah yang banyak memberi impak masa hari mengundi tu. Dan keputusan kerajaan untuk buat undi 18 ni merupakan satu inisiatif yang sangat-sangat bagus sebab dia dapat membuka minda generasi muda untuk lebih ambil tahu sebenarnya isu-isu, bukannya isu-isu nak kata dia suruh diorang ni berpolitik, tapi nak cakapnya diorang ni kena aware tentang isu-isu semasa dan sebagainya. Sebab kita kata yang suara muda sebenarnya sangat penting untuk kerajaan buat sesuatu keputusan. Dan kalau kita tengok sekarang ni sangat orang muda sangat berani ke hadapan, especially kalau nak buat something. Bila kerajaan cakap macam ni, mereka tahu yang ini bukannya satu benda yang bagus. Dan bagi saya benda Allah tu dapat membuka mata dan minda dia orang untuk terus menceburi, bukan menceburi bidang politik, tapi nak katanya dia orang ni ambil tahu dan ada sikap ambil peduli tentang kita punya isu-isu yang jadi dekat negara kita Malaysia lah, especially.
Apakah perubahan atau penambahbaikan yang anda rasa dapat lihat daripada masyarakat Malaysia untuk masa akan datang? Dan adakah anda rasa ia akan memberi kesan positif atau sebaliknya?
Mungkin perubahan yang mungkin kita boleh lihat bukannya terus ke arah macam terus perubahan dan 100% perubahan secara drastik, tapi kita boleh tengok secara benda tu berproses. Dan antaranya saya rasa perubahannya adalah kita nak banyakkan lagi orang muda dalam parlimen. Dan kita sendiri sekarang ada parlimen belia yang sebenarnya mereka boleh menyuarakan pendapat dalam parlimen belia tu. Okey, perubahan kalau kita tengok, kalau yang adanya golongan muda dalam ahli dalam parlimen tu sendiri, kita boleh nak katakan suara-suara orang muda ni dengar lah. Dan sebab saya ada juga tengok yang ada juga pernah dengar yang orang kata yang diorang orang muda ni tahu nak bagi pandangan je, tapi diorang tak tahu pun apa sebenarnya action dan sebagainya. Tapi bagi saya, bila kita bersuara tu sebenarnya memberikan satu impact juga. Walaupun kalau nak katanya action tu belum lagi dilaksanakan, tapi bila once dah adanya diorang berani bersuara, berani ke hadapan untuk diorang menyatakan idea dan sebagainya, kita rasa macam orang muda ni involved dalam politik dan sebagainya. Bukannya kita nak katakan dalam parlimen tu, kalau kita tengok banyaknya generasi macam kebanyakan golongan dah ke 50 dan 60 ke atas. Dan diorang punya idea dan isu lebih kepada diorang punya idea sendirilah kan, sebab umur diorang macam tu. Yang kita ni mempunyai idea yang berbeza daripada mereka. So bilanya adanya generasi muda dalam parlimen, saya rasa banyak benda baru yang boleh kerajaan ketengahkan. Mungkin dari segi isu pendidikan, dari segi isu mungkin orang muda sendiri involved dalam isu-isu kesihatan. Kalau kita tengok masa zaman COVID, orang muda sendiri yang adanya inisiatif untuk cakap yang semua kena ambil vaksin. Orang muda sendiri yang cakap, orang muda sendiri yang adanya tindakan cakap vaksin ni kena ambil dan sebagainya. Kat situ saya rasa merupakan satu langkah yang agak profesional dan bagus lah.
So sekarang ni boleh saya nampak betapa pentingnya informasi Undi 18 ni untuk di Malaysia lah. Okey, terima kasih kepada tetamu kita pada hari ini yang telah banyak berkongsi tentang pendapat, pandangan dan dia punya pengalaman tentang Undi 18. Okey, sekian, terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So continue to our station 1 with our second guest. So welcome to our podcast. So where we delve in deep into dynamic of social change and the impact on society. So joining us Aisyah, a young voter who experienced the recent change firsthand. So welcome Aisyah to the podcast and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So we will start with your personal experience. So did you vote for the first time at the age of 18?
Yes, I do vote at the age of 18.
So could you share your journey and any surprise you encounter as the first time voter?
Of course. So before the election day, I usually would go through my social media and do some reading about each parties, their manifestos, and do some background checking on each politicians. Besides, my family also give an exposure for me about each politicians and what benefit that I will get if I voted for them. And what surprised me is that even though I came early in the morning to vote during the election day, the queue is still so long and I still feel nervous and excited even though I think I am quite well prepared that day.
Wow, that's an insightful perspective. So now let's move on to the recent Undi 18 reform in Malaysia. So how do you feel about this change and what are your thoughts on the government decision to implement it for the next election?
For me, I really agree with the implementation of Undi 18 policy to vote because I think youth nowadays are actively involved and show a great interest on the Malaysian political system. I think because we already have learned the voting subject during our high school day, so it gives an exposure to the young voters for us about the government and the opposition. Besides, by implementing this reform, it can give the right for us to choose any candidate to lead our country and give an opportunities for us to voice out our opinion and give new ideas that concern us, like the education or health system or any other sectors. This experience also can raise the knowledge of the youth to make sense of the political words such as the parliamentary or democracy and etc.
Okay, that's very in-depth detail about your perspective on those questions. So looking ahead, what change or improvement do you hope to see in Malaysian society as a result of the Undi 18 reform? So do you think it will bring about the positive change?
I hope with Undi 18 implementation, young people would have sense of responsibility to perform their job as to actively participate not only during the election, but try to educate themselves about politics so that we become a citizen that is politically literate. Besides, they can prove to older generations that younger voters can give their authorities new idea, new perspective, which can give benefits to our country, society, and the government.
I'm absolutely agree on your opinion about this question. So thank you, Aisha, for rest in this podcast. I hope by having you here will be giving a insightful detail about our interview.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and thank you for joining me in this interview. How was your day, Miss Noor?
Waalaikumsalam, Alhamdulillah, great.
I believe that you understand our topic today as I've little brief about it. So during your time when you went out for the election, how did you experience when the event occurred?
To me, the process was smooth, quick and easy. My family and I have checked our IC number to know which channel that we are going to vote.
So, regarding the issue of Undi 18, did you spot any differences between your time and the time when Undi 18 was applied?
Uh, no, not really, except that I've seen that there are more voters went out to vote rather than my first time of PRU.
Then, did you encounter any challenges during the voting process?
No.
Okay, that was a short story. Then, what is your criteria on choosing the next leader of the country?
To me, a good leader should have integrity, self-awareness, courage, respect, and also resilience.
Then, how did you know that the person that you choose that resilience? Did you research it or you just look at the social media about it?
Yes, I actually checked a little bit the background of the candidates at my place before I went to vote.
Okay. Last but not least, do you think that voting at the age of 18 might impact the future of the country?
To me, our political will be more stable, as I observe that the percentage of voters that went to vote is ranging from the age of 18 to 20-ish. 20-ish, like 25, 26, 27, and I've seen that people who are aged more than 70, 60 and above tend to not go out to vote. So I would say that Undi 18 is really help in our political stability.
Thank you for your insight, and I'm really grateful for your cooperation. That's all from me.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Welcome back for the second session for this podcast. And now joining us, Nan. She was one of the participants of the general election starting from the age of 21. So, welcome back. Hello. So, how are you doing? I'm good. And a little bit nervous for this podcast. Yeah, sure. Right, so as
today. So, may I start with the first question? Right, so during the time when you went out for the election, how did you experience the election? For the first question, I guess, how I'm feeling at the moment, I think I felt overwhelmed because, like, everybody had already campaign, had already reached out to the community and so on, but the vote will, but the vote also came from as a citizen, as a community. So I think I felt overwhelmed because we don't know which party we will vote, and also which party will win, and also the outcome of the campaign that we had as for 5 years later. So I think overwhelmed is right to describe the feeling during the election season. So experience is very overwhelming, and we, like, for myself, we had our chance, but when we entered the room to cast the vote, we felt like, is it true? I vote him or her? I need to vote this party or not? So I think that's some feeling that I can explain. Alright, moving on to the next question. So the second question is regarding the issue of allowance. Did you spot any difference between your time and the time when the community was on? This question, I guess I can see a huge difference between at my age and also after the enforcement of the 18, because you can see many teenagers was either voting please, press their vote, but we don't know what is in their mind. So we just see the teenagers came showing support to the government, but we don't know which one they are voting. So I think it's a huge difference from my time and current, because the age gap, I think, it become lower from 21 to 18. So we can see like not mature faces, how the voting ways and press their vote and so on. Yes. So did you encounter any changes with the voting process? If so, I think the only change that I got during the election process is I need to read more, because years back we just only have like two political sides, like no and also us. But currently we had like government like that. So we need to read more on their benefits, so on what we can do after they win the election, what will they bring to our government, like what they can enforce in the next 5 years on. So I think the challenge is for election years back was we need to read more to know which party is the best, which political side is good, which person can be the prime minister that can lead our country to be a good country. So I think that's the challenge. Right. So next question is, what is your criteria on choosing the next step for the country? My honest answer, or I need to know your honest answer. For me, I would choose someone who really show his or her charismatic, his or her responsibilities. Like nowadays, you can see some politicians or political leaders who actually do their job. You can see at TikTok right now, YB Hari from New York, Melaka. He is really nice job, even though he was the one that very straightforward. Yeah, the one that very straightforward, but also did their responsibilities to the citizens, to the community. Like, he know what he did. Not like, I don't know, maybe some of the politicians, they did their job, right? They didn't film, they didn't edit the video, they they send to the social media, they show what they are doing to the social media. Yeah. But maybe they did, but we don't know. But I think current situation need validation because from the validation that someone or the politician gain from the community, it shows that he or her, he or she did the job very well. Like when he have me from Rio, I think he really loved his community, he really loved his job, so he felt the responsibility that was given to him. So I want that my future leader had that attribute, had that attitude, charismatic, responsibilities, know what to do, what he or she doesn't need to do, what he or she need to focus on. But the most important one is I think they need to know their responsibilities, either in their communities or when the party got win in the election, he knows the job in the parliament. So they can voice out our concern, our voice that we cannot reach to the higher level. I think that's all. But we will moving on to our last question for our session today. So the last question is, do you think that voting at the age of 18 might impact the political stability and future of the country? For the last question from my POV, do you think 18 should not enforce again or should be enforced earlier? Because 18 years old teenagers, because 18 years old was teenagers, not we call it adults yet. So I think they doesn't have the maturity, the ability to think, but maybe some of them have already. But still overall, then they only had passed the SPM, and I think they don't read much on political issues. I think they also don't care what is happening in political world, like in Asia. Like they maybe feel like, just as a word, only as a word. Like they don't know they don't see I think they cannot see in the future what will happen if you vote this person, if you vote this person, what will happen. So it might affect the future of our country, because if they choose this party, but they don't know the reason why we need to choose this party, it will membazir. So if you destroy the country, your enforcement is something that that's all for me, and I wish good luck to complete this podcast. All the best. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We hope that for this podcast.
Today we're gonna continue with the session where we will have a more in-depth explanation about reform of Undi activity from a professional viewpoint. Joining us, Doctor from the lecture. Joining us, Doctor from the UAE. Welcome, Doctor, and thank you for being here. So, Malaysia Undi activity reform which lowered the voting age to 18 has been a significant development in country democratically. As a student, I am interested in understanding the professional perspective on this reform and its potential impact on the Malaysian political landscape and societal dynamics. So today we aim to understand your professional view on this reform and its potential impact on Malaysia's future democracy and society, policy making process, especially with the youngest voters involved. And the third, perception and attitude across different age that group regarding the youth's political participation. So your expertise in the politics and history will provide valuable insight into how the Undi reform may shape democratic landscape and societal dynamics. So we appreciate you sharing your perspective on this important topic. To begin, I'd like to get your overall perspective of Undi reform which allows 18 years old to vote in Malaysia. So this reform is part of broader democratic transition and political reform that taking place in our country. Could you share your thoughts and feeling about this change?
about the Undi 18. Personally, I would say the Undi 18 was something that should not be implemented, nor the bill should be passed.
So moving on, I am interested in understanding the potential implication and improvement you anticipate for Malaysia's future democracy and society as a result of the Undi reform. Specifically, so how might the inclusion of the youngest voters impact the electoral outcomes and policy making process in the country?
Okay, firstly, if you look at the matters, we have to sometimes when we talk about the matter, we have to understand the context first. Why something was passed, why something was agreed upon, whatsoever. Now, Undi 18 or the Undi 18, it was not something bad, but it was done the idea was actually not well prepared, taking into account of the younger generation themselves. Now, the younger generation of Gen Z, they are the people we can say that they are progressive, they're very active, but somehow in the case of in terms of the exposure and what's not, I believe that these people from political point of view, they do not necessarily have what it takes in order to understand the current scenario of the politics in Malaysia especially. Now, Undi 18 or this is, okay, let's talk about the demographic factors. The Undi 18, they are just 1 year after the end of their schooling systems. Meaning that these people before, they are not very much exposed to the political situations. Of course, yes, they know the existence of the political parties, maybe they know a little bit of the political scenario or whatever, but in that understandings of the politics themselves, politics itself, they are not very much aware of it. That's one thing. Secondly, when we talk about these 18 years old generations formulation, they are easily influenced or they are the impressionable one. Right? If you in 2021, I think there was a demonstration like I said just now, known as the Where's My Votes. Now, in this demonstration, you can see how some of these people they are actually influenced by certain political parties. All right. So the idea was not the idea is to show how actually easily these people or the younger generation of the 18 years old and was not easily influenced by political ideologies or political affiliations simply because they find it interesting or they find it that is much more inclined to them. That's one.
So I value the installation as they contribute to the more holistic understanding of the Undi reform and the implications. So another aspect I'd like to explore is the perception and attitudes of the different age cohorts toward the Undi reform. So in your experience or analysis, how do various age groups perceive this reform and what factors might influence their opinions? Are there any generational divide or commonalities when it comes to the view on youth, political participation and the democratic process in Malaysia?
Of course. Now, when we talk about this, like we said just now, when we talk about young class of history of Malaysia, we discuss on the presence or the existence of young guards, young guards and the old guards. Now, difference of ideology is something that's bound to happen. Nowadays, when we talk about theories, this theory is usually defined by the theories known as the traditionalisms. Alright, the traditionalism simply sees how the values or basically the cycles of values. For example, the youngs, they will not necessarily agree with the olds because the old they have this conventional ways of thinking, traditional ways of thinking, where they see that some things that should remain that way as how it is. For example, we talk about the traditionals, for example, like Mahdi Muhammad is an example of traditions nowadays. Said Sadiq is an example of the young ones. Now, in terms of the ideas, it's very, very much different. Now, if you look at the consequences of the introductions of this bill and how the 18 years old was allowed to vote, of course, on good side is that we allow exposure to the youngs. But on the other hand, due to the lack of understanding of the politics, exposure to the political scenarios or whatever, it somehow made that these young people, they are not well prepared in order to make well-informed decisions. Because in many ways, their decision could be influenced or be impressioned by someone that is much older. Right, like we said just now, this one administration in 2021, when we talk about this demonstration, in this demonstration, we can see a lot of people demonstrating whatsoever. But the one thing about this demonstration is that you can see some people, they have with them the political parties such as like Harapan's flags or whatsoever. Alright, so bear in mind that when this happens, usually this demonstration they are backed up or they are financially supported by certain political parties. Alright, that alone shows how these people easily influence, and therefore we somehow can say that even though these people they are well informed, they don't necessarily be able to make well informed decisions. That's one thing.
So your perspective of a unique angel that I had considered before. So I'm grateful for Dr. input. So thank you, Doctor, for sharing your insight and opinion with today. It's been a pleasure to have Doctor on our interview.
Data analysis. So what we can gather from this diverse perspective on the Undi 18 reform and its implication for young voters. So what we can gather from this research is for those who first vote at the age of 18, most of them were perceive a sense of excitement and empowerment. They see that the Undi 18 reform as an opportunity for young people to actively engage in shaping their nation's futures. But this opinion was contrary to our experts, which is Dr. Izzuddin, because Dr. Izzuddin think that raises valid concern about the readiness and maturity of 18 years old voters. He questioned whether they possess the necessary depth of understanding to make informed decisions at the polls. This skepticism may sound more with individuals who believe in a delayed voting age, such as those who was vote at the age of 21. These differing views, there's a shared recognition of the importance of political literacy and informed decision making. Dr. Izzuddin and the young voters stress the need for education and awareness among the youth, where they may differ on the timing of when individuals should begin voting. There's consensus that young people should be equipped with the knowledge and critical thinking skills necessary to participate meaningfully in the democratic process. So, as the nation navigates the path forward with the Undi 18 reform, it's crucial to consider these various perspectives. Striking a balance between empowering young voters and ensuring they are adequately prepared to make informed decisions is key. And perhaps it's through ongoing dialogue and education that we can bridge the gap between optimism and caution, paving the way for a more inclusive and robust democracy. Thank you for joining us in this podcast. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, your voice matters. Let's listen. See you.